Belgrade right now. I am actually in Grenada, and for the next several weeks, I am hopping around the Caribbean, exploring and creating content about the different citizenship by investment programs. I thought, hey, let me make a live for those that are curious about what exactly is citizenship by investment. And that term you might not have heard. We expats, especially those that are living outside our home countries, and I know that term expat is a bit politically loaded, but if you are temporarily living outside your home and you work or you do business or investor, you're an expat. I know there is clearly the difference if you're an American or Canadian, Australian, or of a tier one country, you can call yourself an expat while other people call you an immigrant. Let's not get into that. But I'm here in Grenada and I am the spokeswoman for NTL Trust, a leading global firm helping individuals secure their wealth, global mobility, and lifestyle by acquiring a second or third citizenship or residency, because not every country has citizenship by investment programs. And I wanted to talk to you all about, what exactly does that mean? What is a citizenship by investment program? And being here in the Caribbean, which are the pioneers basically for citizenship by investment programs dating back as far as like the 90s, it was actually St. Kitts and Nevis that launched the first citizenship by investment program in the world. So I love this pillow because I'm in like my house dress and I'm like a bit cold, but it is very hot right now in the Caribbean. So I want to talk about, again, what is a citizenship by investment program? Because if you're not a citizen of a country, you have to have, and thank you for joining the one person, a legal right to reside in the country, to bank in the country, do business, to buy property. You can't just go and live wherever you want, especially if you're not a citizen of that country. So let's get started. If you don't know me already, I'm Blair. I'm an American, and please ask the questions below. Even on the replay, I'll read all your comments. I'm American, and I've lived abroad for the last 11 years, starting out as a graduate student in Israel. Then I got my certificate while I was doing my master's in Israel to teach English in Thailand. That's where I got my first big girl job. Hi, everyone. Good morning and good evening. I'm usually in Central European time, but since I'm in the Caribbean, I'm in Eastern Standard Time, so it's really nice to be in this time zone, and we can have a nice conversation about citizenship by investment programs. So, in Grenada, that launched their own citizenship by investment program. Hi! In the last 2 days, I was in Antigua and Barbuda, who also launched their citizenship by investment program in around like 2000, I think 13. And I've done some interviews for my client NTL Trust. I am their newest spokeswoman. So I want to come in here because I did post some videos and people had questions. I did a poll saying, hey, if you had an option to live in the Caribbean, which country would you live in? Would you be in Grenada? Would you be in Antigua and Barbuda? Would you be in St. Lucia? Would you be in Dominica? And I'll be going to all these places. And someone asked, hey, let's talk more about this. So please leave your comments below, and you can ask, not only just ask, but definitely ask questions specifically about these countries. This is my first time in this part of the world. First of all, I've never been to the Caribbean. I've never been to the Caribbean, even though my family has roots here. I've never been to the Caribbean. Just like last month, I went to Sao Tome and Principe in West Africa. They also launched their citizenship by investment program. And I've never even heard of the country, but I was sent there. I was on the ground. Hi, welcome. And this is a whole new world for me, even though as an expat, there's always a strict timeline, but the next evolution, if you want to live abroad, is getting a second or third citizenship, getting a different citizenship. And I think really that's a new flex today. It's not about like money. It's not about, having a fancy car or nice clothes or jewelry. It's just like, do you have a second place you can legally call home? Do you have a second or third place that you can bank? Or do you have a second home where you can buy that property, live there, bank there. So yeah, let's get into it. So I have all this like reading I've done over the last couple of days, just learning about citizenship by investment. So what exactly is citizenship by investment? Because I've heard this term, I'm sure you've heard this term. So citizenship by investment basically is an avenue for a foreigner to legally live in a country and have the same rights as a citizen. So two avenues is when you have a donation. So different governments have citizenship by investment programs where an applicant makes a donation. So a donation can be as little as 100,000 euros, it can be 250,000 euros, it can be €1,000,000. Every country has their different prices, there are fees, and you make a donation, and usually the government has like a national donation fund. And those funds they use to invest in like public infrastructure projects, charities, and they are also monitored by like an international accounting firm and published. So that's one avenue. The second avenue, and the most popular one, is investment via real estate. So you buy a property, or you can even create like our own hotel for a certain amount that is approved by the government. And in that avenue, buying a home and you can't sell it for like 5 years, that's an avenue to get a citizenship. Two most popular programs. So here in Grenada, they have the donation fund, so a citizenship by donation or citizenship by buying property. So, two avenues. Here's a question. Can you pass a citizenship to your descendants? I know for many of them you can include your kids, but does it extend to grandkids and so on? That's a really good question. Many of these programs, for an individual, it can be for up to a family of 4. And if you have your parents that are over 55, they can also get the citizenship. For minors, they also can get their citizenship. And for any additional applicant in this form, you could, they can get a citizenship. So it's just, for example, if you don't have kids yet and it's you and your spouse, your child will inherit the citizenship. And in different countries, after like 10 years, you reapply for the citizenship. So this is a legacy that you can pass on to your children, that you can give to your parents, and you can give to any, I guess, family member. But there are additional fees when it comes to the application process for each dependent. You're welcome. You're welcome. So here in Grenada, I have to like print out all this stuff. First of all, Grenada, if you don't know, is in the Caribbean. It's a really small island, small but mighty, small but a lot of development. I was around today. I went to a rum factory, I went to a cacao chocolate farm, I went to see this beautiful waterfall, and it's interesting because the Atlantic Ocean is on the east coast of the island, and on the west coast of the island, is the Caribbean Ocean. So it's really cool that they have two oceans. But anyways, so basically when you're applying for the citizenship by investment program, it takes about 3 to 9 months because you have to do a lot of due diligence, be healthy, background checks, proof of income, and each country, especially for those that are worried about like taxes and stuff, have different rules. Like, and I know in Antigua and Barbuda, they don't have any income tax, but they do have a corporate tax. And here in Grenada, I'm actually going to meet with an attorney later today, actually tomorrow. Let's see. So their donation amount, if you go through that citizenship by investment per avenue of making a donation, is about $235. And for each additional dependent, it'll be about $25,000 per person. And, I just read if you have a sibling too. So if you and your spouse and your children and you want to add your sibling, that's another fee to add a sibling. So, but let's see about taxes, because I know someone was asking about taxes. Every country is different, and again, it depends on the avenue. But I know here it says for the real estate fee, for if you want to do the citizenship by real estate, it's about $270,000. Hi, thank you. So there's always going to be government fee, there's going to be due diligence fee, And to actually go through these programs, you have to have like a approved marketing agent. So the agency that I work with as a spokeswoman, they are an approved marketing agent. They've been doing this since 1994. And also you have to go through an approved attorney. So you're not going through this process by yourself. For example, like many expats like myself, when we move abroad, you either have a company recruit you, you are all maybe like a diplomat or you work for the consulate, so they take care of all your paperwork. However, your ability to reside in a country is contingent on your work permit and your visa. However, with the Citizenship by Investment program, you have that pathway to citizenship. So you don't have to worry about like, can you legally live there? Can you bank there? Can you rent there? You know, how long? You guys are curious about my hair is very long and it just takes 2 seconds to put it in a bun. But that's not the point of this live. But thank you. Where was I? So again, every country is very different. And for example, if I wanted to open a hair salon here in Grenada, let's just say, for example, I'm not a citizen of Grenada. I'm sure they welcome foreigners. I would go through the route maybe of citizenship by real estate, right? And I would buy maybe like a commercial property instead of like a residential property to open up a business, operate my business, so I have the ability to live here, to bank here, to operate my business, and I could pass on the citizenship I would get if I were to have children or if I had a spouse or for my parents. So it's a really great avenue long term. So I have a hat. No, my hair is not a hat. It's a really great avenue if you want to live abroad long term. And expats, we play this kind of game, you know, how long can you stay abroad consistently? How long can you live your best life and not rely on a job? Because we know these days jobs come and go, especially in the US. You don't have any safety nets. And in many of these countries, you have at least access to the universal health care, you have access to the universal education. And if you're earning your income outside, say you're earning income in the US, in the UK, Australia, your currency goes a lot further. So having that leverage to live as a citizen while earning in foreign currency, having a business, this is a really great viable option. This is, I think, the next step for those that are especially expats, for those that do want to exit where they are and just like kind of feel a bit hopeless, like, oh, how do I leave? How do I legally leave and live my best life? I don't dissolve my hair. These are locks, so this is permanent. You know, feel free to ask questions about the citizenship by investment, because that is what I'm talking about. So yes, I'm currently in Grenada, and Grenada is actually well known for having a medical school. I remember growing up, at one point I wanted to be a doctor and go to medical school, and I've met some people that were studying medicine in the Caribbean. Not Saint Antigua, but Antigua and Barbuda also has a world-renowned medical school. So for those that want to go through that route, Antigua and Barbuda, they have the University of West Indies. So getting a citizenship by making a donation to the university, and you could have your child get a scholarship for 1 year to study is an option. Serbia! Yes. I'm currently not in Serbia, but honestly, I think Serbia should have their own citizenship by investment program. I need a bridge head. Okay, I don't know. What is with you and my hair? Like, let us focus here on citizenship by investment, living your best life abroad, and how to make that possible. Like, especially if you're an American. I know I left the US 11 years ago, and it is not easy just to pack up and leave the US now today. Like, I think if I were to do what I did today, it would be like 10 times harder, because I was 24 at the time when I left the US. I gave up my car. I never rented an apartment on my own. I gave up a lot of clothes. Like, I didn't have anything like really holding me back. I was unmarried. I'm still unmarried. I don't have children. So to leave the US now, especially in this economy, it's scary. You have to plan ahead. You have to be really smart. And the way of life in the US is very different. Like if you want to rent, for example, in Belgrade, to rent an apartment, they're not going to ask for your payment stubs. They're not going to ask for your credit score. If you have money and you see a place, you just pay a month or 2 month deposit and you move in. And for many expats, a lot of the apartments we rent are furnished. Hi! So, hey from Croatia. Oh, okay. I've been to Croatia like 3 years ago. I have my own company. I own my own company, ABC Experiences and Events, DOO. And I provide relocation services, I provide B2B services, I do my own events, and now I'm the newest spokeswoman for NTL Trust, promoting their citizenship by investment programs, hence why I'm in the Caribbean right now. I was in Antigua a couple of days ago, now I'm in Grenada. I'll be heading to different islands. So where was I? So yeah, leaving the US is really hard right now. And many people are asking and seeking and asking questions like, how do I leave? And with many expats, people want to become digital nomads, which is really popular, but digital nomads, and some countries do have digital nomad programs, but you can't do that forever. People either want to work abroad, but many countries, of course, are going to prioritize their citizens. Many people want to go to Europe, but to work in the EU, like you have to have like a crazy great skill set that a local EU person cannot do. And to get recruited to an international company, you need to work at a C-suite level. So not everyone has a skill set to work abroad. Work remotely. A lot of US companies are cracking down on people trying to work outside the US because of tax issues, or people just want to have control of their employees. So the next viable step would be the Citizenship by Investment program, that avenue. In many countries outside the Caribbean have these programs. I was in Sao Tome and Principe in West Africa. They just launched their program last month. Portugal used to have the golden visa, but they stopped that because it became, I guess, too popular. We Americans were gentrifying Portugal. Some countries in Europe do have these citizenship by investment programs, but the threshold is a lot higher. You need to invest, maybe at least €500,000. So the Caribbean, places like Dominica, Grenada, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Lucia, they have more affordable programs. Some starting minimum around like $230,000. Sao Tome and Principe, where I was in last month, their program is like for one applicant is about $95,000. So it's a good avenue because making that donation and the due diligence process 3 to 9 months, or buying real estate. I know many people are selling their homes right now. You have to, if you're going to exit the US, it is a whole process. You're going to have to really downsize. And you can buy a lot of things in other countries. You don't need a car in many places. You don't need a bunch of stuff. We Americans, we love our stuff. And as a judge, what are you talking about? So, for those that have been following and asking questions, thank you so much. But if you want to be a citizen of the world, I say that, and have a residency and a legal right to live outside wherever you are, I believe this is the best avenue. Becoming a citizen of a different country. And what I like about Antigua and Barbuda, their program, you can remotely apply for the Citizenship by Investment program. You just have to spend about 5 days once you are approved for the citizenship. And the process can be very fast as long as you work with a licensed marketing agent approved by the Citizenship by Investment program and a licensed attorney, again, approved. So it really varies. And people that go through these programs, they don't really live here full time. Many people live here seasonally, they come variously. So it really depends on your demands. If you want that plan B, and I think we all need a plan B today, you really, really can't just rely on your employer or your country anymore. Have options. Have options. Any questions for the few people that are on here? Because I'm happy to talk more, especially Antigua. Antigua is beautiful. I think I was really fortunate to stay in a beautiful space, see the nature. I went to this nearby private island called Prickly Pear. I saw a jellyfish. I feel like if you love nature, you want something more laid back, you want to relax, live in the lifestyle in the Caribbean, it's very relaxed. It's not just work, 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 work. Like, you have a life outside of your job. Your nervous system, especially as a woman, is a lot calmer. And it's safe. I mean, every time I open up the news and I read something, it's just like, wow, it's just not safe. So I think having an alternative citizenship it's good for your health. It's good for your wellness. And, well, my eyes are brown, but thank you. You keep on asking about my looks. You can ask about the citizenship by investment programs. To be an expat is always temporary, but to be a citizen and go through this avenue, you have that plan B. You have something in your back pocket, just in case, because you never know in life. There's no guarantees. It's good to have, just in case, a second or third citizenship. I think really the biggest flex today, if you're going to give your children anything or yourself, it's not just money, it's not a nice car, it's not nice jewelry, it's having a second or third citizenship. Like, that's a huge flex. That's what I think. Please I have people coming in here. Please like this live. That helps boost and bring more awareness of what's going on. Have anybody here been to the Caribbean? Because again, this is my first time. First time in this region of the world. I know a lot of people come here for holidays. There are a lot of different resorts. I know Sandals. If you've heard of Sandals, they have all these commercials. I remember growing up seeing the Sandals commercials. I actually met this British couple traveling from London to here, to Antigua, because they were going to Sandals. Really popular. So it's a beautiful place, but not just for holiday. Paradise, it is paradise, but you can live here seasonally. Tell me if it's windy. Would you like here? It was actually very windy today. My hair is shaved to the back, but I do my hair to maintain my hair. But that is not the point. The point is to focus on these wonderful citizenship by investment programs and what it means and how you really can live your best life. Like, it is a process. You need to have a clean criminal record. You need to have proof of your income. You need to go through a licensed marketing agent. There's a whole due diligence process, but it's definitely worth it. You know, it's the state of the world is it's scary. So you need to have a plan B. You need a plan C. We all need a plan. We all need a backup plan. So, Mattia, you are just asking interesting questions. Everything but the citizenship by investment. What do we think of this pillow? I think it's good. It's nice and comfy. Okay. So I don't see any questions about the citizenship by investment program, and I don't just want to read. Actually, I could read some stuff. So let me read about the St. Kitts and Nevis, because they were the first in the world to launch the Citizenship by Investment program. So here we go. So the minimum investment for St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment program is about $250,000 US to acquire. Once approved, the citizenship takes about 3 to 9 months. So St. Kitts and Nevis is known as the platinum standard of citizenship by investment programs. It offers a path to citizenship within 3 to 9 months. The Caribbean paradise boasts white sandy beaches, blue waters, lush mountain, and rainforests. At one of the most prosperous Caribbean nations, it provides stability, socioeconomic environment with a strong legal framework and established banking system. That's another thing, banking in these countries, right? The investment program not only grants access to a thriving economy, but offers a reputable passport for global opportunities. So, wow. Oh, wow. So this program was established in 1984. 1984, I thought it was in the 90s. Okay. St. Kitts and Nevis holds the world's oldest citizenship by investment program. These islands blend African, British, Caribbean, French cultures, offering a unique experience. Conveniently located for easy access to Europe and North America. It's an appealing Caribbean escape. Okay, again, I'm reading about this from my brochure as a spokeswoman for NTL Trust. So I will continue to read, and you can ask questions below. As the smallest independent nation in the Americas and a proud member of the British Commonwealth, St. Kitts and Nevis exemplifies the success of the citizenship by investment concept. With a rich history and a commitment to excellence, the Federation welcomes those seeking an exceptional path to citizenship and life-changing opportunities. And who doesn't want life-changing opportunities? Okay, until you've asked this question. Ask a question related to citizenship by investment. So, what are the benefits? People want to know, what are the benefits for the citizenship by investment program? So for St. Kitts and Nevis, a reputable passport, granting passport holders the privilege to travel to a wider range of countries. Even if you're American or you're British or you're Australians, there's always a benefit to having, I don't want to say weaker, but just a different passport. For example, Americans, it's very difficult for us to go to Russia. So the entire family is eligible. So the program extends eligibility to entire family, including spouse, children up to the age of 30, and parents over the age of 55. And it's attractive tax regime. So a favorable environment for individuals seeking to optimize their tax obligations with no tax on income, wealth, or inheritance. That's very interesting, right? Dual citizenship permitted. Dual citizenship is permitted under the program, enabling participants to maintain their existing citizenships while enjoying the privileges of being a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis. Okay, so that's another benefit. So citizenship passed into future generations. See, the person asked me earlier. Citizenship can be passed onto future generations, ensuring that your descendants can also benefit from the valuable citizenship acquired through the CBI program. So you can pass this on to your children or even your grandchildren as long as you renew your citizenship every 10 years. You become a member of CARICOM. So St. Kitts and Nevis is a proud member of CARICOM, fostering regional cooperation, economic integration among its member states. So the investment is required only after approval. So only after you approve, that's when you have to make the investment. So investors are only required to make their investment after receiving pre-approved, offering confidence and security throughout the application process. Okay, so minimum physical presence. So do you have to be there year-round? Let's see. So no minimum physical presence required throughout the process. However, applicants are subject to mandatory interviews imposed on all applicants age 16 and older, either virtually or in person. That's good. You have to have a virtual or in-person interview. Okay, great. So I guess pretty much summarizes St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship by investment program. And you can leave a comment below or send an email to info@ntltrust.com. People, my employer that has hired me to promote their citizenship by investment program. So email the team. It's a great team, and they will share more details about the whole process for citizenship by investment in St. Kitts and Nevis. So for the donation one, because remember there are two different types of programs, or at least avenues for the citizenship by investment. The donation to the government, so the main applicant for up to a family of 4 persons, about $250,000 US. Or if you want to buy property, the minimum investment is $325,000 US. And there are government fees and processing fees. So if you want to buy a private home, I'll read here. The permanent investment option allows you to invest $325,000 in a condominium or $600,000 in a single family dwelling house designated by the program as an approved private home. The full purchase price will be placed in an irrevocable escrow account. Okay, so the other option, public benefit option or PBO, the investment is about $250,000 US. So government, due diligence, and other fees apply in the same way as the investment. Okay, so those are the 2 options, the donation or the real estate. Great. So what are some facts about St. Kitts and Nevis? I'm still learning. So, yes, this program was established in 1984. I really thought it was in the 90s, but yeah, they were very progressive. 1984. So this is the longest standing citizenship by investment initiative in the world that tracks more and more investors every year. You receive not only the opportunity to have an enhanced global mobility and favorable tax environment, but freedom to live in one of the most developed Caribbean countries. I look forward to going to St. Kitts and Nevis later this month. I think that will be like my last trip along my island hopping. So, can I buy St. Kitts and Nevis citizenship? That's a question. People don't buy passports. You make an investment to get a citizenship. So, here we go. It's important to note that citizenship is not for sale. Not for sale. Rather, like many other countries, St. Kitts and Nevis offers incentives to encourage foreign investment from persons of impeccable reputation. One of these incentives is the Citizenship by Investment program, requiring an investment in the country, such as a purchase of real estate or financial support of the nation's development. So that's where the whole National Development Fund comes in. Just to be clear, passports are not for sale. You make an investment. Okay. Do I need to visit St. Kitts and Nevis to obtain citizenship? So, no. Simple, no. The procedure for obtaining citizenship can be completed remotely. Interesting. And you do not need to come to the islands before or after obtaining citizenship, which I find interesting. So if you just want that plan B, you don't want to go there, you don't want to live there, and I'm sure it's very beautiful, you don't have to go. It's a plan B. Sometimes maybe even a plan C. So that's, I think, one of the great benefits. Like, do you have to go there? Because many countries now are requiring people that get the citizenship via Citizenship by Investment program to spend a couple of days, a couple of weeks, or even a couple of months. So for St. Kitts and Nevis, apparently you don't have to go there, which is very interesting. Okay. Let's read more of these Citizenship by Investment programs. I have all this nice paperwork, so. Let me read. Okay, let's do Antigua, because I was just in Antigua and Barbuda. So let's read about their program. Stop investment. Why? Why don't you ask me questions, huh? I don't want to take a break. We'll go through it. Okay, so for Antigua and Barbuda, their Citizenship by Investment program, the minimum investment is $230,000 US. And the processing time is about 3 to 9 months. Okay, so we'll do some reading about Antigua and Barbuda. I was on the island of Antigua, and I was staying in Hodges Bay. Absolutely beautiful. And I was in a villa, and it was just amazing. Okay, here we go. So Antigua and Barbuda is a small, English-speaking British Commonwealth nation made up of 2 islands in the Eastern Caribbean Sea, a region traditionally known as the West Indies. Antigua and Barbuda and the West Indies are well known in the yachting and cricket communities. boasting a highly developed tourism infrastructure. They also have 365 beaches, one for every day of the year. I did not know that. So if you're a beach person, apparently you can go to a different beach every day. That is amazing. And most importantly, a friendly and welcoming environment for newcomers and future citizens. I have to say, I love Serbia. People are very friendly and warm. Like, Serbs don't look friendly. Like, I feel like when I look at people, I'm like, they don't look friendly. But when I talk to them, people open up. So it's like really amazing. And I did feel like that in Antigua, that people are really welcoming. They're friendly. Like, you want to live in an environment where people are friendly. Like, they're not hostile. Like, when I was in Germany, Germans take a long time to open up. They're not exactly friendly people. They become friendly people after, know them for maybe a year. So it's good that Antigua and Barbuda and also Serbia, very friendly people. So, where was I? Friendly people, friendly welcome. Yes. Antigua Airport boasts direct flight connections from North America, Europe, and Africa. I was able to make a direct flight from Gatwick to Antigua. Too expensive. Southeast Asia is a better option. Southeast Asia doesn't have any citizenship by investment programs. They do have residency. I used to live in Thailand, so they have a residency program, and I believe Cambodia has a residency. But again, citizenship in Asia it's very rare. It's very rare. Like, you can become fluent in the language, you can live there for decades, you can marry, have children. Many of these countries do not extend citizenship. They may provide like a retirement visa or a residency visa, but citizenship, hi Marco, is not really popular in many parts of Asia. I think it's cultural wise, like, you will forever be an outsider no matter how long you live there. I've met maybe like a handful of people that acquired citizenship, but it takes a lot of time. So at least the Caribbean, there are pathways to citizenship. And as we learned, Antigua and Barbuda, after St. Kitts, they have their citizenship by investment program. So we're doing some reading. I wanted to settle in Singapore, for example, but it is extraordinarily difficult to get a Singaporean passport. And I don't think they even have dual citizenship. Some of these countries don't. They have a residency. And I've met some Singaporeans that have lived abroad and thought about giving up their Singaporean citizenship, but Singapore has like one of the strongest passports in the world. They have universal health care, they have the universal housing, like, yeah, it is not easy. Why are you interested in tea in my love life? I am happily single. So back to Antigua and Barbuda. So Antigua is also declared as crypto-friendly nation. Okay, for those crypto millionaires out there or people that are into crypto, apparently Antigua and Barbuda is crypto-friendly. In addition to its developed offshore banking and finance sectors. So, fun fact, Antigua and Barbuda are famous for production of excellent local Caribbean rum. I did not know that. Today in Grenada, where I am, I went to a rum factory, and there's two other factories. The one I went to is the oldest rum factory, I believe, in the Caribbean, and it was built in the 1700s, and they still have all the equipment and this huge big wheel. I will create some content about this in the next couple of days to produce rum, like producing the rum from scratch. It is fascinating. So yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so next, worthy mention. Antigua is home to one of the campuses of the most prestigious university of for medicine. So a prestigious university of West Indies. So a lot of Americans who want to go to medical school but don't, for some reason, make it to medical school in the U.S., they come to the Caribbean. The Caribbean has excellent medical schools. So the University of West Indies is an option. Certain citizenship by investment applicants can qualify for a reduced or even free tuition fees at the university that is top ranked in the region. So That's another incentive. Sorry. So if you have children that want to go to medical school and don't make it in the U.S., and at least in the U.S., it's notoriously expensive to study grad school, law school, med school, business school. This could be a viable option. So, history of the Citizenship by Investment program. Early in 2013, the Senate of Antigua and Barbuda voted to establish a Citizenship by Investment program to spur economic development in the islands by granting citizenship to foreigners of impeccable reputation and credentials in return for investments. So Antigua has long been an international hub for the West Indies, and the new Citizenship by Investment program is breathing life into the tourism and financial sectors. Okay. So yeah, many of these Citizenship by Investment programs, from what I understand, were created to boost and fund a lot of the infrastructural or national projects. And leaving Antigua, which has the most modern airport in the Caribbean, you could see where the funds go. And apparently some of these government programs, they do publish where exactly these donation funds are going, so people can see. All right, so enhance global mobility. So opportunity to reach global mobility, hassle-free, and make travel for business, pleasure a lot easier. Again, having a plan B, having a second citizenship will grant you, even for American, options for traveling to some places where you might need a visa, or they might look at you sideways because you have a visa, or even banking, because Americans, we are taxed worldwide. Some banks don't want to work with us because, it's just difficult. So having that second or third citizenship can make life a lot easier. Quick processing. So the estimated time for the applicant, if you choose to go through the Citizenship by Investment program in Antigua and Barbuda, is 3 to 9 months, and it's subject to successful due diligence and background check. So again, a lot of these programs have a very rigorous due diligence and background checks, hence why it takes a couple of months. So, attractive tax regime. So a favorable environment for individuals seeking to optimize their taxes with no income on tax, wealth, or inheritance. However, there is a corporate tax here in Antigua. All right, so investment is required only after pre-approval. So investors are only required to make their investment after receiving a pre-approval, offering confidence and security throughout the application process. Okay? Please stop and drink. Why are you being so... I don't need to drink any water. I'm not thirsty. I'm going to continue. All right. Family friendly. So, inclusion of dependent children under 30 years old, independent parents or grandparents over age 55, and no age limit for unmarried siblings as eligible dependents. That's really interesting. So as long as you're not married, so if I apply for this, I have 2 unmarried siblings, 2 unmarried sisters. I could have them get citizenship. That's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Affordable option for big families. So the family up to 6 members. Most of these programs are for up to 4, but up to 6 members. So 2 adults and 4 minors can apply for a single investment amount. Fascinating. And the program is available to stateless individuals. So Antigua is the only jurisdiction to formally offer citizenship by investment to stateless persons. Wow, I didn't know that. That's amazing. Return of investment. So citizenship by investment, investors can resell property to subsequent citizenship by investment applicants, whether in form of a share or a unit, passing on the same rights to apply for citizenship. Wow, amazing. So, Antigua and Barbuda, they are actually 4 programs. I learned this yesterday. So the one being the government donation. So to qualify for this route of investment, the applicant makes a non-refundable contribution to the government-controlled National Development Fund. This nonprofit fund is subject to parliamentary oversight to allow for transparency and accountability, and will also be audited by an internationally recognized accounting firm. So again, like I said at the beginning, with these citizenship by investment programs, it's usually a donation to the government, which most likely in the form of a national development fund, or real estate investment. So to qualify as an investor, must enter a contract to purchase a government-approved real estate property. It's important to note the property may not be sold within the first 5 years from the grant of citizenship. And the minimum investment fee is about $300,000 US, and there are other processing fees and due diligence fees. The third option is the University of West Indies Fund, which is fairly new. So the University of West Indies Fund is an innovative government-backed initiative designed to fund the prestigious University of West Indies new campus, a leading higher education institute in the Caribbean. A notable benefit of this option is that it offers one family member a 1-year scholarship for tuition at the University of the West Indies. This means by investing, you secure your family's future and contribute to the progress of higher education in the region. Okay, the last one is the business investment. So Antigua and Barbuda offers a 4th option of direct investment into an authorized business on the islands. So the Citizenship by Investment Unit, or CIU, recommends cabinet approval of businesses, whether it's existing or proposed, for investment in business under the Citizenship by Investment program. So for a family of up to 4 members, it's $1.5 million US, or a joint application of a minimum of 2 investors at $5 million US or more. And each investor needs to contribute at least $400,000 US. And there are processing fees included. Okay. All right. So, some facts. So, what are the benefits? Because we want to know, what are the benefits of having an Antigua and Barbuda citizenship? So some of the benefits of Antigua and Barbuda are a hassle-free travel to over 150 countries, low tax regime, dual citizenship is allowed, favorable option for large families, so for up to 6, and your unmarried siblings. It's affordable, investment amounts, access to quality education and healthcare, and a stable political and economic environment. People really underestimate, especially these days, the stability of an economic and political environment. Hence why I think a lot of Americans are looking to leave. So, how long does it take to obtain an Antiguan and Barbudan citizenship? So, the processing time for Antigua and Barbuda citizenship varies depending on the investment option chosen and the due diligence process. Generally, it takes 3 to 9 months from the submission of the application to the issuance of the passport. Okay, not too bad. So, I'm going to take a small break. I'm going to get some water, just as you said. Oh, am I finished with the Serbian learning? Have you mastered fully, or are you still learning? I have taken a break because since I've been traveling and I need to have like a designated time to do my Serbian lessons, that's why I've stopped streaming. But I have excellent notes. I have not mastered the language. I cannot have like a conversation like this in Serbian. So the learning has not stopped. I just stopped streaming. But great question. Let me get some water, and then I want to read the Dominica and the St. Lucian, and then we'll end this live. But please feel free to ask questions. because that is why I'm here, to talk more about citizenship by investment. Woo. Okay. And my water, my coaster. You know, it's interesting. Sparkling water is not really popular in the Caribbean. Everywhere I've gone, and when I asked for sparkling water, even when I went to the grocery store, it's a bit of a challenge to find. People really like flat water, but when it comes to sparkling or gas water, as we call it in Europe, it's not like a thing here. It's not. Okay, this pillow is like keeping me warm. All right, so next one, Dominica. I will be going to Dominica, and I've heard wonderful things, especially about the nature. I've met one person from Dominica when I was in university, and I was like, wow, so this is what people from Dominica looks like. It's fascinating. Even me being here, some people think I'm local, so you never know. It's very, one thing about Antigua, it's a really rich and a diverse environment. So that's another thing that this thing did not mention. Okay, so Dominica, citizenship by investment. And please like the ladder. So the minimum investment for Dominica is about 200,000 US dollars, which is actually a lot cheaper than the other programs. And to acquire citizenship is about 3 to 9 months. So the Commonwealth of Dominica's Citizenship by Investment program is one of the longest established in the Caribbean. It has helped countless individuals and families to obtain the security, the freedom, and flexibility that only a second passport and nationality can offer. Let me know if anybody here has been to Dominica. Created as a stimulus for domestic and economic growth in 1993. So they're the ones that did this in the 1990s. So it was Antigua and Barbuda did it in 2013, then St. Kitts and Nevis that did it in 1984, and then Dominica was the second one to do this in 1993. Okay, so NTL Trust, who I am their spokeswoman, is a leading regulated citizenship by investment service provided across the Caribbean region, established in 1994. So they established this 1 year after. It is pleased to offer the Dominica Citizenship by Investment program to worldwide clientele. So NTL Trust works with everyone worldwide. We don't just only work with Americans. It's the Green Island, the Green Passport. Okay. So ask any Dominican citizen, and they will proudly tell you that nature of the island of Dominica is one of the most beautiful places on earth, which I really look forward to see because I am a big tree girl. I love trees. In Belgrade, I do my hot girl morning walks, and I walk in the most beautiful neighborhoods that has the best trees, fresh air. I mean, I kind of miss my hot girl morning walks in Belgrade. But anyways, I look forward to a hot girl morning walk in Dominica. So, Dominica is a paradise, yes, but it's not your typical Caribbean beach destination. Dominica is a green paradise dominated by dense tropical rainforest dotted with the hot sulfur springs. Okay, I've never been to any sulfur springs. Green dominates Dominica as the main color of the national flag and in the nation's commitment to keeping development sustainable and eco-friendly. Great. You won't be surprised then to find out that the coveted passport issued to Dominica's citizen is also green. I've never seen a Dominica passport. So I look forward to going to Dominica and seeing what their passport looks like. Okay. Tourism in Dominica is high-end boutique style, restricted to individuals in the know. Okay, so they're very exclusive. Visitors in Dominica are often inspired by the island's long-standing citizenship by investment program, again established in 1993. If your idea of enjoyment is adventure and an active lifestyle, followed by pampering and natural spa treatment at the end of the day, then Dominica may be for you. I love nature. I love spas. I love pampering. So, created as a stimulus for domestic economic growth in 1993, the Dominica Citizenship by Investment is one of the most affordable, because it's at 200,000 US dollars, legal second passport programs available in the global community of free-thinking individuals and anyone who wants to protect against political or security risks at home. Okay, so what are some of the benefits of Dominica? Okay. So, quick processing. So, a lifetime citizenship and new passport is typically granted in 3 to 9 months. Okay. Privacy. The application process is completely confidential, so it's not public. Little cost. Dominica offers one of the most affordable legal programs available to the global business community. Hassle-free. There is no requirement to visit Dominica in order to qualify for citizenship, although we do recommend you visit. Okay, so, I mean, who would not want to visit this green paradise? Okay, great travel opportunities. The Dominica passport allows global hassle-free travel. Great. Zero tax. The island has no income, wealth, or inheritance taxes on foreign earned income. That's very interesting. Family friendly. Children, siblings, parents, and various other dependents may be included in the same application, requiring just one minimum investment amount. I find that interesting. If you can include your siblings, if you can include your siblings in your application, I think that makes it very competitive. Investment required only after approval, just like every, I believe, citizenship by investment programs, only after you're approved, that's when you make the investment. Anybody saying you have to make the investment up front, they're not honest and they're not ethically operating in business. So, investors are only required to make their investment after receiving approval, offering confidence and security throughout the application process. Okay. Dual citizenship is permitted. So dual citizenship is permitted under Dominica's program, enabling participants to maintain their existing citizenships while enjoying the privileges of being a citizen of Dominica. Okay. Member of CARICOM. Just like the EU, the Caribbean islands have their own equivalent CARICOM. Minus I think they have different currencies. So Dominica is a proud member of CARICOM, fostering regional cooperation and economic integrity among its member states. Okay, so I believe Dominica has 2 types of citizenship by investment program. So let me read here. Economic Diversification Fund. The Economic Diversification Fund under the Dominica Citizenship Program was established as one of the competent of a national capital mobilization portfolio towards the government's ultimate goal, national development of the Commonwealth of Dominica. Okay, so it's like the equivalent of their National Development Fund. There are different minimum contributions amounts to qualify for citizenship under the Economic Diversification Fund. Investment option based on the number of dependents included in the application. So the exact amount for qualification for Dominica citizenship by investments are as follows. So main applicant pays only about 200,000 US dollars. And the main applicant and up to 3 dependents. So your spouse and the minors. And then for that it's about 250,000 US dollars. And each dependent under 18, there's additional fees. So again, comment below or send an email to info@ntltrust.com for more information. And we'll skip all these other fees because it really varies and go to the real estate. So, real estate option. Tourism is the fuel for the island's economy. In a move designed to increase tourism-related development, the Commonwealth of Dominica's Citizenship by Investment program allows investors to qualify for citizenship by buying into an approved real estate development in any part of the island. Okay. To qualify under the real estate option, the investor or family must enter into a contract to purchase a real estate property worth $200,000 or more. That's in US dollars. Okay, so again, what are the benefits? Right? Why should you look into Dominica's Citizenship by Investment Fund? So, and why you should choose NTL Trust. NTL Trust has been promoting Dominica's Citizenship by Investment program since 2011 and has highly experienced team of lawyers. We are experienced in processing applications from many origin countries, including difficult cases. So the key to obtaining your second citizenship in Dominica and new passports quickly and efficiently is working with an experienced and qualified agent. So NTL Trust, who I'm a spokeswoman for, is a qualified and licensed agent. So choosing a true Caribbean-based company like NTL Trust can also help you avoid the inexperienced middlemen who might make false promises and are not familiar with the real situation on the ground with the Citizenship by Investment unit. Okay, so let me go to facts about the benefits, right? What are the benefits of, okay? And for those that are watching, thank you. Please put a thumbs up, like, share. Hi, luxury bucket list. So what are the benefits of Dominica? So Dominica citizenship offers many benefits, starting from being a great investment to protect your family's future, security in challenging times. And I believe that we're living in really challenging times right now, like really challenging times. Other advantages include hassle-free travel, low tax rates, no residency requirement, dual citizenship, and access to various qualifying investment opportunities. Sorry, I need to take off like my contacts, but like my glasses are not the best. Okay, so how long does it take to process the Dominica Citizenship by Investment? You'll watch the replay. Okay, thank you. I know this is a bit longer, but I'm reading all the different Caribbean Citizenship by Investment programs. So way longer, but I think this is great. So the processing time for Dominica Citizenship by Investment varies depending on the complexity of each case and the due diligence process. So the average processing time is between 3 to 9 months, which is like the process for all other countries. And from the submission to the application to the issuance of the certification of naturalization. So not too bad. All right. And lastly, St. Lucia. I will be actually heading to St. Lucia after Grenada, so it's good just to kind of get a head start on learning about the St. Lucian Citizenship by Investment program. So let me know in the comments. Am I in love? I'm in love with doing my job. So no, you joined late. No, I'm talking about Citizenship by Investment program. So I think you joined at the right time because I'm going by each country and I'm reading basically about each one of them. So you are right on time. So St. Lucia Citizenship by Investment program. And let me know in the comments if you're interested in the Citizenship by Investment. Follow me here. Follow my client, NTL Trust. So the Caribbean Golden Versatility Program. Opportunity for single applicants as well as families. Okay. I've never been to St. Lucia. I've heard a lot about St. Lucia. I remember when I was in university, I've met some people from St. Lucia because I'm from Massachusetts and Boston has a lot of people from the Caribbean. So, hi. So let's read about the St. Lucian Citizenship by Investment program. Okay. St. Lucia is a beautiful Caribbean paradise. Famed for its upscale boutique tourism and yachting, it is a small, neutral, and democratic British Commonwealth and an OECS member state with easy and direct access to the Americas and Europe. I have to see what OECS means. The country has a population of up to 186,000 people, so fairly small, and is willing to warmly welcome newcomers who need a second passport from a neutral jurisdiction. So that's good. It's good if you have a local population, that are open to foreigners. Not all people, especially these days, are open to foreigners. A lot of people don't want foreigners in their country. So you want to go somewhere where people are welcome. St. Lucia will grant citizenship based on investment to any foreign individual who can pass the rigorous background checks and is willing to invest in the country's future. Important to note. St. Lucian culture and cuisine is a fascinating melting pot of African, East Indian, French, and English traditions. The island's terrain is defined by volcanic land and mountains with fertile valleys. St. Lucia is the only country in the world to boast a drive-through volcano as a tourist attraction. That's interesting. When I was in Sao Tome and Principe, I saw like a non-active volcano, but to have a drive-through volcano, that is quite impressive. All right, so let's learn more about this program. Enhanced global mobility. So, a reputable passport granting passport holders the privilege to travel to a wide range of countries. Okay, great second home. St. Lucia is an attractive place to live and own a second home with excellent air and travel connections to North America, Canada, and Europe. Attractive tax regime. We all want to know about taxes. A favorable environment for individuals seeking to optimize their tax obligations with no tax on income, wealth, or inheritance. Dual citizenship is permitted under the program, so enabling participants to maintain their existing citizenships while enjoying the privileges of being a citizen of St. Lucia. Very nice. Okay. And citizenship passed into future generations. Again, that's a great pro. Citizenship can be passed into future generations, ensuring your descendants can also benefit from the valuable citizenship acquired through the Citizenship by Investment program. You like that? All right, maybe you should consider the St. Lucian Citizenship by Investment program. Leave a comment below, subscribe to my channel, send me an email. Contact at abcexperiences@gmail.com or info@ntltrust.com. All right, member of CARICOM. So, St. Lucia is a proud member of CARICOM, fostering regional cooperation and economic integration among its member states. Okay, if you don't know what CARICOM is, it's like the EU, but for like the Caribbean. Investment required is only after the approval. So, investors are only required to make their investments after receiving pre-approval, offering confidence, security throughout the application process. Minimum physical presence. Again, how long or how many days or months or years do you have to spend? So, no minimum physical stay requirements throughout the process. However, applicants are subject to mandatory interviews imposed on all applicants aged 16 or older, virtually or in person. So, something to consider. Yeah, why not? It's a plan B. So, the investment options for citizenship in St. Lucia. So, the main applicant with up to 3 dependents is $240,000 US, and there are other processing fees. And again, if you want to know about the specific numbers, send an email to info@ntltrust.com. I'm the spokeswoman, and I also am being trained to do like the sales. So this is exciting. I can work one-on-one with you throughout this whole entire process. Okay, so there's the real estate option. So the minimum investment if you're going to buy real estate is $300,000 US. And again, there are other processing fees. So, there's a third option. The National Action Bond. I did not know that. Okay, so applicants and qualified citizens must hold the bond for a minimum of 5 years, and then they can recoup their initial investments. This makes the option for a one of a kind amongst all others. No other citizenship by investment program has this, the National Action Bond. So investment for main applicant and unlimited dependents, 300,000 US dollars. Wow, that's a good thought, St. Lucia more. Exactly. That's good because Antigua and Barbuda has the National Development Fund, they have the University of West Indies, then they have the real estate, and then they have the Business Investors Fund. So they have 4. Here in St. Lucia, there's 3, and this is one of a kind, the National Action Bond. That's interesting. And you have that for the main applicant and an unlimited amount for unlimited dependents. That's amazing. St. Lucia's doing great. So, and the 4th one, there's a 4th. Enterprise investment. Okay, so similar like a business one, right? So there are currently no enterprise projects open for investment. Okay, so technically there's not a 4th option. There's only 3 options. All right, so coming towards the end. Facts, okay? How long does it take? And I'm sure it's going to be 3 to 9 months. It's going to take you about 3 to 9 months. 3 to 9 months time frame. And is the St. Lucian passport powerful? Is it? So St. Lucia's passport is very desirable because of its high mobility score and high ranking. So according to the Passport Ranking Index, the St. Lucian passport ranks 28th globally in terms of travel freedom for its citizens. That's quite impressive. Okay. All right, friends, we've read everything. Maybe I'll do another live next week. Let me know if you like this live, because I did some property tours and I would love to talk about the beautiful properties that I toured and that I saw. For example, I went to see 2 properties. One I stayed in Antigua and Barbuda. It was at the Hodges Bay. And then I did a property tour of this place called Tamarind Hills. Stunning, because you have views of the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Ocean. And I saw villas, I saw suites, I saw studios. So yeah, maybe my next live will be like, where to live abroad. Like if you're going to do the citizenship by investment via real estate, yeah, I'll talk about those approved real estate projects because it is amazing. And again, many of these places you don't have to physically be there, but it's a good option to have that property in case you want to be there for the summer or you just want to have a winter escape. Absolutely stunning. So, okay, let's stop here. And I will be in Grenada for the next couple of days. So if you have any questions, follow, subscribe, send me an email. I'm really good with email. Comment on my other videos. Share with your friends and your family if you are considering, because as you have heard, it takes 3 to 9 months to acquire a citizenship after if you pass the due diligence process. So we can get started now, and maybe next year around this time, you will have your 2nd or 3rd citizenship in St. Lucia, in Dominica, in St. Kitts and Nevis, in Grenada, in Antigua and Barbuda. Who knows? The world is yours. So thank you for watching, and for those that are watching the replay, feel free to email me or NTL Trust at info@ntltrust.com. They also are on WhatsApp, so whatever you're comfortable with, watch and share and follow and subscribe. I'm here to help, and I will be creating a lot more content here and on my clients page, NTL Trust, so you'll get more insight on what life is like what do these places look like, what do people eat, what can you see, the nature. So thank you for watching. Okay, bye.